Hello. Thank you guys so much for jumping on tonight. We are going to be talking about carb cycling, the basics of carb cycling, my 101 program, and intermittent fasting. I want to touch on a lot of things tonight, specifically the plateau that I found myself in and my experience busting out of that over the past few months. A lot of you guys have been hearing the terms carb cycling and especially intermittent fasting lately. So I kind of want to dig into that a little bit with you guys, touch on the basics of what those are and how using those methods might help you break through a plateau, might make you gain a little bit more control over your food, and just in general kind of turn on some light bulbs for you. And that's really my goal and intention tonight. As always, if you follow me and you know me, I want to encourage you to keep exploring what works best for you and know that this program, whether it's carb cycling and intermittent fasting, or it's both together or one or the other or anything else, just keep exploring. Go with your gut. Go with the things that really kind of make sense for you, and know that this is part of the journey, right? Nobody is perfect. Nobody has it all together. And this is just another solution for you to consider, okay? This isn't any kind of, I wouldn't call it a diet. It's definitely a lifestyle. I believe a lot of us have probably, I heard about, counting macros, figuring out which macros they are, carb cycling. As I got into fitness and I started making connections and friends with people who did figure competitions, and they were into bodybuilding, and they would carb cycle building up to their show. And I would see them completely deplete down to, where there wasn't a lot of water, and so that you could see all of their muscles. And then I would see them pack it back on, and I would hear about, this depression that they would go through. And because you always kind of be like, I wonder if I could ever do that. And then I would hear about like this roller coaster of emotions from the diet plan that I was like, well, I never want to get into that pattern. Like, it just seems like it would be a dangerous cycle for me personally to get into. So I haven't really explored it too much. And then about a year and a half ago, I started hearing about intermittent fasting. And that kind of piqued my interest because I was hearing about it through pretty credible sources from friends in the fitness industry that I follow, I know, and personally, and I trust them. And so whenever they started kind of talking about it and turning my eyes on to some things that kind of go against the grain, and I'm all for going against the grain and exploring options that, maybe don't make sense to the masses. And the concept was, basically skipping breakfast, which all of us in the fitness industry teaching group fitness classes, personal trainers, we've always been taught and preached to in trainings. I know that I've preached it, like, breakfast is the healthiest meal of the day. Don't skip breakfast. Like, you've got to break your fast early before you work out and fuel up before your workouts. And, I'm like, okay, that makes sense, and then now I'm hearing, it's okay to skip breakfast and to work out in a fasted state, to work out on an empty stomach. And, sometimes, we all have those days where maybe we wouldn't get in breakfast, and so you would work out on an empty stomach, and I felt pretty damn good. So things I'm like, okay, well, this kind of makes sense because I naturally kind of gravitated towards it anyway. And so whenever I really started to do it in a focused manner, in a healthy way, making sure that I was getting all of the proper nutrients and minerals in each day, and not just kind of like, oh crap, it's 2:00 and I haven't eaten, and I've got to eat something, and then not really eating healthy for the rest of the day because I thought I already kind of screwed it up. Do you guys, can you nod your head a little bit if you understand like that whole cycle? So to me, I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. You're telling me that I don't have to eat breakfast, and I can still, whenever I do start to eat, I can eat as much as I pretty much want as long as I get to my calorie target. Like, this sounds good. Tell me more. And so over the course of a year, I studied Melissa McAllister stuff, and then I was introduced to Sarah Sullivan stuff, and I heard about it from Shalene. There's lots of podcasts, and then it started really coming about. And then I met Amanda Tress, and I went through her carb cycling program, and that's when it all just kind of turned on for me. And light bulbs went off, and I said, okay, I get it now. This makes complete sense. And so for those of you who aren't even sure what I'm talking about whenever I talk about macros, I'm talking about your macronutrients, okay? So basically all of the nutrients and minerals that you take in, right, broken down into 3 categories. So your carbohydrates, your fats, and your protein, okay? So your carbs, fats, and proteins. On this program, on my Carb Cycling 101 program, we're focusing on complete complex carbohydrates, okay? So we're not talking a lot of breads, it's a gluten-free plan, okay? So it's you think healthy carbs, fruits, vegetables, whole grain, that kind of stuff it's got to be gluten-free though, okay? Gluten and dairy-free. Fit fats, so avocado, hello avocado, olive oils, nuts, peanut butter, all that kind of stuff. You guys know this stuff. You already know this stuff. Think about this stuff that most of you are already eating pretty healthy. Okay, you're eating pretty healthy, you're working out hard, and maybe you've just been doing that so long, and now you're just kind of stuck in this plateau. And that's where I was. Like, got the initial weight off, whatever, it's been great, but we always want to see ourselves progressing, right? And so I want to see my body fat percentage getting down to a healthier, more athletic range. That's just what my personal goal is. So I'm eating the same amount of calories or the same amount of containers every single day, yet I'm not doing the same workout every single day. And so I was like, okay, that does seem a little dysfunctional. It does make more sense to me to fuel differently on different days, depending on what my workout is. So in the Carb Cycling 101 plan, in the program, we cycle 5 days. Basically what we're doing is we're using your carbs and we're dialing it in, right? So we're dialing in your proteins, your fats, and your carbs, and I'm putting you at a certain percentage, and then you're following this plan, and then each day, so the first day, I just had a group start this week. The first 2 days that we're doing are 2 low carb days in a row, okay? So we're shooting for 50 grams or less of net carbs. So if you're on MyFitnessPal and you go into your nutrients and you see what your nutrient breakdown is for the day, and you see your carbohydrates are at 200, and you see your fiber is at 50, well, we would subtract the 50 from the 200, and your net carbs would be 150, okay? So your net carbs are your carbohydrates minus the fiber. And the goal on low carb day is to keep that under 50 grams. And we're coupling, and here's the key, is we're coupling that with speed burst training. We're doing sprints. We're doing HIIT workouts. We're doing high intensity, short amount of time workout, but high intensity to burn off all of those glycogen stores. So all of those stored carbs, okay? Am I losing? You're like, what are you talking about? So we're going to burn off all the glycogen stores so that we can start tapping into our fat and start burning that as fuel. And we all want to lose some fat and burn it up as fuel. Am I right? Yes. So that's when I'm like, okay, I can do this. And as much as I love routine and structure and all of that, I really do thrive when I'm carb cycling because it's a little bit different each day. So for instance, we did 2 low carb days, Monday, Tuesday, totally depleted out the glycogen stores. And then today was feast day. So on feast day, we're shooting for 50% more calories than we would on a regular calorie day. And that's a lot of food, you guys. So typically on a normal day, I'm shooting for around 2,500 calories. That's according to my goals. I wouldn't take that number and try to run with it because obviously you guys know I'm tall, I'm bigger than a lot of you guys. So we have different numbers, but So on a typical day, 2,500 calories. On feast day, I'm shooting for like 3,500 calories. It's a lot of food, okay? But it's not just gorging on pizza and cereal and ice cream. It's still eating our fit fats, our clean carbs, okay, and our lean proteins. It's still sticking to the foods that are on the meal plan. And that's key, because you'll see in a lot of other diets, like we talked about a little bit before we got started recording, there are a ton of different ways that you can carb cycle. Like I said, you see a lot of bodybuilders and figure competitors do it, but they carb cycle down into a ketosis state where they're totally depleted. Like, we're not doing that. This is for, preventative long-term. This is something that you can do long-term. And that's, if you follow me, I'm all about what can we do long-term? What's going to keep us moving when we're 60, 70? What's going to keep us healthy now? And eating whole foods, whole, raw, organic foods, no sugar, no processed sugar, no dairy that's going to inflammatory all up in your body and make you swell up and just all your cells and make you store fat. Like, there's no dairy, no gluten to hold on to all of that stuff. Like, this is something you can do long term. So I really want to encourage you guys to think about trying this and doing a solid structured program for a good 6 weeks. And I have a program starting on May 2nd, Carb Cycling 101, another group starting May 2nd. I'm only taking 15, maybe 20 ladies. I don't know. I'm thinking 15 is a good amount, a good size before it kind of gets too big. So after feast day, so after you eat all of that, think about it. Like, you're trying to stay, so just say 3,000 calories. Say that's a lot. So what I do is I feast all the way up until dinner. So tonight I stopped eating around 7:30. Okay, so officially my fast has started. My 24-hour fast has already started. So I'll go to bed and I'll sleep a good third of the way through my 24-hour fast. And then I'll wake up. You can have black coffee. You can have teas. Lots of water. The focus is water on fast day, and it's also rest day. You can go for a walk. You can take some yoga if you want, but we have to take rest day seriously, because it also, if you're like me, part of the problem is you're overtraining or working out too much or doing the wrong workouts coupled with the wrong nutrition plan. All right, I'm doing a bunch of turbo classes, a bunch of high intensity classes, a lot of cardio, so long form cardio, and not really coupling it with the right nutrition. So that's where things are changing, and I'm really seeing my body respond, and I really think you will too if you're kind of in that same position. Okay, so we eat all those calories. I started my fast 7:30. I'm gonna fast all the way until tomorrow night around 7:30. And some ladies in the group, they have to break their fast a little bit early, and that's okay. But you actually might surprise yourself on how easy it is. And you have so much more time to focus on other things. You have more time to focus on your work, on your hobbies, on spending time with your kids, on prepping food for the next day or whatever. But you have more time whenever you're not focused on eating every 2.5 hours, every 3 hours. And that was another one of my struggles, was I didn't want to have to think about food all the freaking time. Like, eating 2.5 hours is a nightmare for me, right? I'd rather eat 3 huge meals and be done with it. And with this, I can. Intermittent fasting is basically eating all of those calories. So whether it's feast day or regular day, eating all of those calories within a good 6, I would recommend, if you're just starting with intermittent fasting, testing it at like an 8 and 10 hour window. Okay, so just basically eating all of those calories within 8 hours. You can totally do that. And you can try that now without any kind of program. Just try it and see if you can give your body a little bit of a chance to process the foods that you're taking in and to digest that completely before putting more foods in. So eat your food and then give it a good 15, 18 hours to fast and completely digest all of that down, and just start to see how much clearer you feel, how much lighter, how much more energy, how positive. You just start to feel better when you're fueling your body with whole foods, when you're giving your body a break, when you're giving your digestion, your gut, when you're giving all of that a break. you really start to see the effects from all of these hardcore workouts that you're doing. But also, I really want you guys to think about if you're hitting 2 or 3 classes, or you're working out, you know, an hour or more a day, like it's just really too much. Are you really going to be working out 2-3 hours a day when you're 60? Because if you're not going to be doing it while you're 60, why are you doing it now? You're just tearing your body up, and over time, you're going to pay for it. So I am encouraging my clients, my girls, to really slow down, to take some time to figure out what their true goal is, what their true motivation is, and just to let this program kind of guide them into a healthier way of eating and fueling their bodies so that they can make it through workouts, so that they can still lose weight and get results. Okay, and that's really what this is all about. So after we do 24-hour fast, totally hydrated, rested, feeling good, you can break your fast. I would have like a shake or something light right before bed on that fast day and go to bed. And then the next day we typically have a regular calorie day, okay, where we break down your macros and we screenshot those. So you're sending in your calories every single day. I'm checking your macros every single day. I'm giving you a weekly plan with the workouts. So even if you don't go to the gym, if you don't have classes to go to, if you don't have any DVDs at home, I'm giving you the workouts to do. You do not need a ton of equipment. And I'm giving you the food cycle that we're going to follow week to week. And it's not the same each week. So like I said, we start out with 2 low carb days. Then we did a feast day. Then we did our fast day. And then on Friday, we'll have a regular calorie day. It's not going to be the same way week to week. So on low calorie day, we're shooting for 25% less calories than we would on a regular calorie day, and trying to keep our macros pretty much in check. On low carb day, you'll typically see that your fats are a little bit higher than normal, and that's pretty typical. So any questions so far? I know I'm kind of like going through it pretty quickly, but those are the 5, that's the 5-day food cycle, okay? And I really like to follow the calorie guidelines that a lot of you guys have taken, the hydrostatic body fat testing. So we like to use that calorie calculation in this program, but if not, then we kind of base it off of what's in MyFitnessPal and what we know that you're burning with whichever devices or whatever that you have. So I really want you guys to think about the May 2nd group. It's only $30 a week. It's 6 weeks long. 6 weeks long. Starts on May 2nd. Again, I'm only taking 15 ladies. So if you're interested, please let me know. I'll make sure to get you all of the information and get you set up on that. And also I want to send you the book that is our required reading during the program. But I'm really excited. And then also, if you guys have anybody that you want to partner up with and bring them along, just let me know that you referred them. And also, I'll be hosting another call just like this, another free training tomorrow morning on Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. I'm going to try to record that one as well. This one is also being recorded. So I will post the replay to this free training right after we get off. So if you want the link to that, just pay attention to social media and I'll be sure that you have that so you can share that as well. I'm going to let you guys unmute yourself if you have any questions, or you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you. But any questions about if carb cycling might be right for you, or if you have any experience with intermittent fasting or carb cycling, what that experience has been like for you. In any part of the program that maybe might make you nervous or anything like that, you guys let me know just by unmuting yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. What workouts do you do on feast days?
So feast day is typically like your hardest workout of the week. So this morning, like I give you a workout that you can do. But for instance, this morning, Darren wanted to work out with me and I knew that he wouldn't be able to make it through the workout that or he wouldn't really want to do that workout. I knew what workout he wanted to do. So we did leg day and we did Body Beast bulk legs. So typically your leg workout, your heavy lifting on regular calorie days, and on feast day, we're lifting heavy weights. And if you don't have heavy weights, then you just follow the workout program that I gave you that's still going to give you a great strength workout. So we're really diversifying our workouts between strength training, high intensity cardio, long form cardio, and rest days with lots of stretching and yoga. Any other questions, you guys?
Oh, so the meals, is it, do you get recipes or is it just like a grocery list? Or?
Yeah, so you get all of that. So you're going to get the grocery list. You get a week to week plan for each of the weeks, 6 weeks. You also get recipes. You're going to get the book. So you're going to get the all day fat burning diet book that I'm going to send to you. It's got recipes in there as well, but then between all of the girls in the group, there's a ton of sharing going on. I'm vegan, so I'm sharing a ton of plant-based options, meatless options. Everybody's going dairy-free, processed sugar-free, gluten-free. So it's like a big brainstorm in there, sharing ideas, and it's really good. You're going to get a lot of ideas.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys again so much for jumping on. We only have a few more seconds left. So if you're interested, please make sure that you jump over to emberneville.com. You can hover over programs and click on Carb Cycling 101 there. I've got all the information broken down for you there. Another training call that I did last week, as well as the sign up for tomorrow morning's call. So all of that information is there. If you can't find it, it's posted all over my Instagram account as well. So if you're interested to kind of see what I'm eating and kind of how the program's going for me, and you just kind of want to track for a little bit and see what it's like, I'm tracking everything using MyFitnessPal and Snapchat. I'm Ember Neville with an O at the end, so Ember Neville O on Snapchat. And again, I track everything there, and I'm blogging pretty consistently with video too. So you guys just track along. Let me know if you have any questions. I really hope that you found this free training informational. I hope it, again, turned on some light bulbs for you and gave you some insight on carb cycling and intermittent fasting. I appreciate your time, and I hope to see you in the May 2nd group. Bye, guys.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.